Morning everyone. Yesterday we have seen what is custom labels, like how to store a simple value in custom label. Okay. Basically, whenever we want to store some configurable values, then instead of hard coding those, and these values are going to be used in multiple places. Okay. To store those configurable values, we have three things in Salesforce: custom labels, custom settings, and custom metadata. Okay, so first we will learn about these three things and then we will learn how to use these three things in our validation rules, flows, etc. Okay, so custom labels. Yesterday we just created one custom label like max number of products, 1000. Okay, we have seen. So using the custom label, we can store a single value. Okay, a simple single value. In case if I want to store, always custom labels are something like that. It's always the return type is string that we have seen yesterday. No, I want to store the values of different data types. Okay, how can I do that? In such cases, we can use the custom settings. Let me log into my Arc. And we will go to the, I'm going to just open up all the three things in three separate tabs. This is the custom labels. And the next thing is the custom settings. Okay. And next thing is the custom metadata. Custom metadata types. Okay. Custom labels, custom settings, custom metadata types. Okay. Custom labels, we just see, we can just give the name and we can store the value. Okay. In the code, we can just refer this name so that, and how we can refer this? We can refer label dot this particular name, then automatically it will get this particular value. Okay. This is how you can store individual simple values and you can refer this name in different places. Okay. And the second thing is custom settings. In custom labels, there is no way that you have to say this is string or this is integer or this is something else. Okay. This is always treats like a string. Even though you give the number inside your programs, you have to typecast it. That means you have to convert to number in case if you provided number here. In case if you want to compare that number with any other number. Okay. But custom settings is something like that. If you click on new, okay, you can just, I'm going to write it as a test setting. Okay. And this is the label and object name. So object name is also, for example, the same thing. We are going to use the settings for product configurations. Okay. So product setting and object also, I'm going to just make it as a product settings. Okay. And then visibility is public or protected. Public is something like that. You can access these for API calls also. Protected is something like that you can utilize inside the Salesforce. Okay. You can't query these things, utilize these things from out of Salesforce. Okay. Most we'll deploy it as a public only and we have select type. Okay. A list type defines application level data such as a country codes that is stored in the application cache. A hierarchy type defines values that can be overridden at the organization profiler user. Okay. So initially, right, here we have two types of custom settings initially, guys. Okay. List type and hierarchy type. Okay. Right now, the setting type is hierarchy is defaulted here and you are not able to convert that into a list type. Okay. So, and also you are seeing a tooltip here. We have custom metadates to do the same configurations if you are thinking to use list custom settings. Okay. Using the custom metadata types instead of custom settings. So, for the custom settings and custom metadata, it's exactly same. Okay. Whenever you want to store, okay, how they looks like is, let us assume for now, using custom settings, we were able to create the setting type of hierarchy that is defaulted. Basically, previously it has two types, guys, list type and hierarchy type. Okay. List type is something like that. It's exactly looks like our object and fields, guys. Custom settings and custom metadata types exactly behave like our objects and fields. Okay, for now the default data type is hierarchy. Click on save and I'll show you. Okay. So we just created a custom setting. Okay. And we can create some fields here. On click of new, see, we can't create a relationship fields, but apart from the relationship fields, roll-up summary fields, formula fields, the rest all fields like checkbox type, currency type, date type, email type, number, percentages, phone, text type, URL. Okay. So if you want to store anything, for example, I just created a custom label, right, for the max product size. So let me try to create that using custom setting. Okay. So I number is the one I selected, but in the custom label, I did not get this option. Okay. I'm going to just select number. Field label is product max size, max quantity. Okay. And 1000. So basically 1000 is the max quantity, right? So length is 4 digit. Okay. And clicking on next. And here, that's it. You just need to select the data type. That's it. And these custom settings are available for all profiles. Okay. That's the reason you will not get the profile level access screen. When you are creating the fields, right? First, you will get the data type selection screen and then you are going to give the name and its length, whether it is required or not. And then immediately it will display a page of profile settings. Okay, that is field level security. Like what all profiles should have access to this field. But custom settings is available for all the profiles. Okay, because these are something like that we are going to use in the validation rules or flows or Apex classes. So these are available for like coding. All those codes is written by the system admins, right? Always. So these are available for all the development purpose. So no profile configurations are required for custom settings. So we simply say it as a global settings available for uh, all the automations. Okay. And click on save. Okay, product max quantity, save. The same way you can create multiple fields under the same settings. Instead of creating individual custom labels, guys, in case if you are working for the product, all your product labels you can have in one place. All your product related configurations, quantity is the one. And in case if you want to check with any other things also, you can just create those fields. Okay, all the product related configuration values you can keep in one place. Okay, that is hierarchy. I mean, this is the custom settings. The major difference between the custom labels and custom settings is you can define the data types. Okay, you can define the data types and you can define multiple values under one setting name. Okay. And whenever we want to provide values to this max quantity, we just need to click on manage. Okay. And when you click on new product settings. So this is the where we just written a hierarchy based custom setting, right? So in the hierarchy based custom settings, for this, I mean, you can control like for this profile, what value. Okay. For example, the max quantity for the system admin profile users should be 1000. Okay. Click on save. Again, back to list and click on new and another profile user. Okay. Standard platform user is 500. Okay. Click on save. Or else there is one more thing also. You can just give depending on the owner. Okay. Depending on the owner profile, you can just provide the values. That is the advantage of hierarchy, guys. This is the, we have basically set up two types of settings, hierarchy settings and list settings. In case of hierarchy setting, it is giving you the option to configure different values depending on the profile or depending on the logged in user. Okay. For example, if it's BNB IT services is the logged in user, for them, the product max capacity is 200. So I was able to configure the values, different max capacity values, depending on different profiles or different users. If that is your scenario, then you have to use the custom settings. Custom settings is the only option that will allows you to control the values depending on your hierarchies. That means either profile or users or anything. Here you can also do something, default organization level values. Okay, so here it is saying all, but if you try to create the new view, like here we can just simply, this is just creating the view, guys. Okay. Um, like you can see who is the owner, what is the product max capacity. Okay. And here, I mean, whatever the filter criteria you have added, right? Setup owner equals to system administrator. No records. Let me just make it as so none. None. Delete and save. Okay. Setup owner, system administrator. Okay. So these views is something like that whenever you want to filter out. Right now we have three values only. So you can easily identify what is the value for what. Okay. But if you have multiple records, like 1,000 records, and if you want to see what is the particular value for a particular owner or location, we have different fields that we can filter it out. So let me just search with, filter by location, profile, save. So we can see we have configured two values for profile. So system administrator profile 1,000 and standard platform user profile 500. Okay. So this is something like that. You are creating just a filter kind of different views. That means you are just applying some filters, and depending on the filters, it will display the records. In case of all, it is going to display all the values and whatever the fields that we would like to see, that we can configure in that view. I would like to see the product max quantity also. So in case of all, we are able to see all the configurations that we have done. In case of system administrator permissions, uh, we were able to see only the profiles. Basically, this is something I couldn't give that name. It should be like a profile permissions, I can say. Profile settings. So either I can say profile level settings. Otherwise, here I can say I can change the condition of setup owner equals to system administrator. Let me just cancel one thing. Let me see what is the, let me go to all. This is setup owner. This is the name, product settings, fine. So here basically we are filtering by location. So we can do two things here. Here we can change our view name to location settings, or we can change the filter condition to setup owner. Let's start with contains. System administrator. Click on save. Um, Basically, in the front end, it might be showing that thing, but in back end, it might be setting up the profile IDs. This is strange. Setup owner equals to system administrator. This is the profile address. Let me do one thing. Let me get the profile ID. Don't know, guys. Need to check on this. Actually, we were able to filter by location and we were able to filter by other records also. But basically, using setup owner also, it should allow us to filter correctly. Setup owner equals to system administrator or obviously the value, but it's not allowing. Um, okay. But basically, this is something like that. We can filter it out the things like location of profile settings. Okay. And here we can just select location as profile or user. Okay. Product max quantity. When you are creating these views, right, you have the setting visible to me, that is only visible to you. Visible to all users, it visible to everyone which is present in this arc, all the users. Visible to certain group of users. So we can place some users in the group and we can give access to only that particular group of people. Okay. Right now I just given visible to all users. Okay. Clicking on save. So it is filtering up by profiles. The same way previously also my expectation is it should display the system administrator record alone. But somehow the filters are not applying on setup owners. Okay. That we will check it later. But basically this is how we can store the values using custom settings. But the advantage of hierarchy, I mean, using custom settings, right now we can create only hierarchical custom settings. Okay. The advantage of hierarchical custom setting is something like that. You are going to apply, you can select, apply different values for different users or profiles. Okay. That is the hierarchy custom setting, guys. In case if we try to create, using custom settings right now, we can create the hierarchical custom settings only. But in case previously we have two values, guys, hierarchical custom settings and list custom settings. In the list custom settings, you will not get a value. You will not get this profile and user ones. It's just simply you create the field and you can provide the value. You can select the data type and you can provide the value. But can we create the list custom settings? No, right now it's disabled. That is what we can see here. Okay, whenever this is done, let me go back to custom settings. Okay, so if you click on the custom settings, it is showing this thing. This is the product setting and this is of type hierarchy. Okay, and previously around 2 years back, guys, we can create list custom settings also. But right now that is disabled. Whenever you try to click on new custom settings, it is by default, it is going to be hierarchical only. And they are giving a tooltip. Use custom metadata types for list custom settings. Whenever you want to do list custom settings, you can use custom metadata types. Unlike the list custom settings, you can migrate the records of custom metadata types using packages or metadata API tools. You can enable list custom settings and schema settings page in setup. Okay. Basically, they have disabled the setting type, and if you go ahead with the schema settings, okay, you can enable list custom settings. In case if you want to use the list custom settings, there is a schema settings. Okay. And here we can enable this here. I just enabled this, guys, just to show you the difference between the list custom setting and hierarchy custom setting. Okay. But basically, whenever we want to create the list custom setting, we will use the custom metadata now. We will not use the custom settings, but I just enabled this to show you how a difference between the list custom setting and hierarchy custom settings. Okay. So product setting is something like that. We created as a hierarchy setting, right? Let me create another custom setting. Okay. This time this box is not disabled, guys. Okay. Product settings list. Okay. And this is of type list. In case if you select like this, it's again the same way you can create the custom fields, and the same way you can select the data types, different data types. Okay. Click on next. Here you can set product max quantity. Okay. And click on next and click on save. And when you click on manage, you can provide the values. And whenever you are trying to click on new, see, so what is the max quantity? And here you are going to just give your name. Okay. So max quantity, this is something like that. You can give um like software quantity, okay, and is 1000. Click on save. But there is no way that here you can select profile or you can select user, and for this profile apply 1000, for this profile apply 200. That is not possible in list, guys. So you are just going to give some name, okay, and for the whenever you access with this name, you are going to get 1000 as the value, okay. Okay. Under product settings field, okay, there is a name and value. Okay. Uh, here you can just create a new view. All settings, and you can add the required fields that you want. Okay. Okay. This is always, these things will always default values. Setup owner is for the logged in user and location is organization. Even though when you click on edit, you can't edit those two things. It will just display these only value. Okay. This is how you can, in case that's the region for software quantity, this is 1000. And you can create the new one for hardware quantity. Okay. 500. Back to list. So this is how you can just declare a list. But whereas in your custom setting, okay, of type hierarchy, right? In case if you want to create records, okay, this is the where when we click on edit, this is the where you can select, like depending on the profile and user, you can apply a max quantity. Okay. In case you want to apply like software product one max quantity, hardware product one max quantity, you can create one more field like product type. Okay. You can go to this custom setting. You can go here and you can create another new field. Okay. Which tells about the product type. You can make that as the text field. Okay. Length, you can give it as a 100 characters. Just simple, and click on save. And when you click on manage, so now that product type value is available. So you can go to the system administrator. Here you can mention software. Okay, for this particular profile, we can edit this view and we can add the software also. We can add the product type also, so that we can see what all the values that we have configured. Okay, so for the software product type and max quantity is 100, because here the name field is the default one, guys, which is already using and populating by profile or user. Okay, This is something we couldn't able to edit. That's the reason we have created the another new field product type. Otherwise, under the name field itself, we can give the software. Okay. Now you can again click on new and you can say system administrator profile. Okay. Product max quantity is 500 of product type hardware. Okay. Duplicate values found. Set up owner field duplicate value on the with this record. Uh, okay. So okay, here we are giving the 500, right? And we are trying to give the same values for the administrator profile. That's the reason it is saying that duplicate. Already we have this administrator profile. Okay, so the product type of software we have, and I'm trying to give the product type of hardware also, but already I have one setting with this administrator profile, the same name with the same. So I'm not able to give the another one. So it is something like that. In hierarchical ones, we can only give one value, guys. Like in case if you want to give the product type as the different one, okay, this is something depending on the product. If you want to give a product type and the max quantity of 500, then we have to create another separate two records again. Um oh, I can say how to explain this one, guys. This is product type is software we have given for system administrator profile. It is not allowing me to create the same setup owner and same profile of hardware. Okay. Anyway, this is hierarchical, right? Generally, we always use these hierarchical ones to set up only one value. Okay. In case if you want to display a multiple product types for software, hardware, that is the thing. We use the list ones, because we are going to have some list of values, right? So in such scenarios, you can go with the list. If you want to maintain a single value, I was wrong, guys. Sorry for the confusion. Okay, I was combined to explain you both list and hierarchy. Okay, hierarchical ones have the limitation that you can set up only one value, and that value should be varied depending on your logged in profile or user. Okay, you cannot set up the multiple values combinations in the hierarchical settings. It's always one field value you can control for different users. Okay. No, I would like to apply a multiple list of field values. Okay. Like product max quantity is something and product type is should be something. Okay. A list of values I would like to apply. I would like to check under the setting. Okay. That is the case. We will go with the list custom settings, but we will not use the list custom settings here. We basically use the custom, but how to create the list custom setting is it's exactly the same as hierarchy custom setting, but the setting type we are going to select it as a list. Here we can select the fields and select the name. Okay, And under the name, we can give here the name is configurable. So we can say whether it is a hardware, whether it is a software, like that. Here you can create a list. Okay. Depending on the type of this is the where you can compare with the type is hardware. If the type is hardware, then you can get this value. If the type is software, then you can get this value. Okay, we can write such kind of things in the formulas or the code. So, but basically, we will not use list custom settings to create the list type of custom settings. We always use custom metadata types. Okay. So this is also exactly same as how you create. Okay. Product configurations. Product configuration. Product configurations. Okay. And just clicking on save. You can select some. You can create some custom fields. So, and also you can create the validation rules here. That is not possible on the custom settings. Okay. Here exactly same kind of fields that you will be see, but you can have a relationship. You can refer one metadata to another metadata. Okay, like you can establish the parent-child relationship between the one metadata to another metadata. But apart from that, the rest all is exactly same what we have seen in the um, custom setting. Okay, product max quantity. Clicking on next. Okay, it is just ask you, do you want to add that to page layout? Okay, click on save. And here you can click on manage product configurations. It's exactly same as it will display like what is the label. Uh, you can say software, quantity is 1000. Okay, the same way we can create for hardware also. We can go to custom metadata types. So we can click on manage records to see the records. Now we have one software. And if you want to create another one, it's again same. You can create the new view and add all the fields that you would like to see. Okay, so create new view, all settings. So I would like to add the field. Click on save. So I can see the max quantity for software and I can create the new. Okay. Here it is just giving you one more extra advantage like labels and all. Okay. But basically we will use the name and label always same. In case if you want to deploy a something different, we can use it label differently. But basically it's the same. So the major drawback is, guys, when you created the custom metadata record, it don't have the back button to go to the configuration. We have to again click on the custom metadata types and then we can click on manage records so that we can see all the record configurations. So this type of creating the records, we call it as a list data types. It is almost same, guys, for the custom settings and for the custom metadata. The list data types behaves almost same. The only difference is here we have the ability that we can create validation rules. Okay. In custom metadata, we can create the validation rules, and in custom metadata we can create the relationship fields. Okay, for example, in case we have two metadata settings, we can relate one metadata setting to another metadata settings. Okay, let me create another one. Okay, in case of new metadata relationship, click on next. See, it is giving me the other metadata values also. Product configurations, I can relate it. So that what I can do is from this metadata, I can access the parent information also. It's like from the child record, how we can access the parent records. The same way we can access. Okay. Apart from these two things, rest all things are exactly same as custom metadata and custom settings list views. Okay. So basically, guys, so now you custom settings, it's a list of values. I mean, map, I just said map of values is something like that. You can have software this much, hardware this much. Okay. List of map of values, I can say. Okay. Comma, list of hierarchy mapping we can do. Okay. Using custom metadata, we can do only list of map of values with relations, with related to another custom metadata. Okay. Basically, guys, just to give you a brief on all these three things, custom labels, we can just store a simple value. Okay. Um, uh, sim you can just remember like to store simple string value, to store simple string values. Okay. Whenever we want to store a single simple string value, then we are using the custom labels. That is what something you can remember. Okay. In case if you want to store other type of values, then we will always go for the custom settings and custom metadata types. Using custom settings, we can do two things, list of values and hierarchical mapping. Okay. List of values is nothing but we can store a list of values. For example, software products, hardware products. This is the quantity. Software products. This is the max quantity. You can explain the same example, guys, in your interviews also. Whatever the example I have explained you, you can explain the same example. Then hierarchy is something like that. Whenever we want to control a single field for single value differently for different users. Okay. Then we can use the hierarchy custom setting. Okay. Already we have a custom in the then custom metadata types. Okay. Custom metadata types. Again, we have the list of map of values. Right. So these are the definitions and how to access custom labels. We can go to the custom setup and custom labels and how to access custom settings. Okay. It's same as setup, custom settings, then how to access custom metadata types, okay, set up custom metadata types, okay. This is the where your interview question starts, guys. First interview question: what is the difference between custom label and custom settings? Another one is, what is the difference between custom settings and custom metadata types? Okay. So the answers generally we provide is, using custom labels, we can store a simple values. We can't store the values depending on data types. Also, we can't control the hierarchies. Okay. Using custom labels, we can store a value of always string types. Okay. But whereas using custom settings, we can store different types of values. Also, we can control those values by hierarchy, by profile or user. Okay, this is the answer you have to give, guys. Then what is the difference between the custom settings and custom metadata types? Okay, first difference is, using custom settings, okay, using custom settings, we can control profile, we can control the values by profile. You can simply say we can control hierarchical, we can control the values by profile or user using hierarchy settings. Okay, using hierarchy type settings. This is not possible in custom metadata. Okay. And the second difference is, we can write validation rules. This is your important interview question, guys. Second one is, first one is 50% of chances, but second one is 100% of chances. And you have to explain it. We can write validation rules, right? Validation rules using custom, we can write validation rules while storing custom metadata values. This is not possible in custom setting. Okay. And the third difference you need to explain is, we cannot refer or we cannot access one custom setting to another custom setting. Otherwise, we can say we cannot relate one custom setting to another custom settings. But this is possible in custom metadata types. And the last difference is we cannot deploy custom metadata configurations to production custom metadata configurations to production using any deployment tools. We have to manually set up in production. Okay. Whereas we can deploy custom meta, we cannot deploy custom meta. Sorry guys, it's not custom metadata configurations, it's custom setting configurations. Okay. Whereas we can deploy custom metadata configurations to production with deployment tools. No need of doing rework in production. Okay. These are the main differences between these four guys. So if I create these meta custom settings, right? If I created 100 records, okay, using this is metadata, right? This is test metadata. We don't have anything. In product configurations, manage records. Let us assume as part of my project configurations, I have created 100 metadata records here. Then I can deploy these 100 configurations through deployment tools. Okay. Custom metadata types will allow me to do that thing. Whereas in custom settings, if I do, that is that I don't have the option to select those records and deploy to production. Okay, I have to again go to production manual and I have to create my 100 records again. Because of those disadvantages, only for the hierarchical settings, okay, we are going to use custom settings. For the list settings, they're suggesting you to use the metadata types. Okay, because of because of challenges, above challenges, Salesforce Salesforce suggests you to use custom settings only for hierarchy, hierarchy control scenario. For list scenarios, for list, they always suggest you use custom metadata. Okay. This is the main things that I would like to tell you guys. In tomorrow's class, I'll show you how to access these custom settings, custom metadata, custom labels in our validation rules. Okay. I hope you are clear with the major difference between the custom labels, custom settings, and custom metadata, guys. Okay. Damn sure interview question. I'm going to give you a pause here. If you have any questions, feel free to discuss. Okay. Let me check. Is this shared? No, this is not shared with you guys. Let me share. Okay. So you don't require any other notes or anything, guys. If you are very clear with the points which were noted in these notes, right? If you are able to explain these points and if you are able to, if you are able to open up the arg, and if you are able to visually see these differences. The fourth difference anyway you can't do it, guys, because we don't have different sandboxes. The fourth difference is the something that you can just remember. Okay, but the rest of the three differences that you can see it in your arcs. Okay, I'm going to give you a pause here. Any questions? Okay. In case of no questions, any questions on the sharing settings assignment, guys? Okay. Then I need answer of the first scenario of the sharing settings by tomorrow. Okay. You can try and you can provide, but each of you should give me the answer of first scenario that I have given in the sharing settings. Okay. You have to give your answer for that.
Ma'am, I tried first scenario,
Okay.
but I can't do it. I'm
Um,
doing second scenario.
You are doing second scenario. Okay, fine. You try second scenario. And first scenario is something like that. You can just write down your thoughts. Okay. Whether that is right or wrong, guys, you can just note down your thoughts. Then I'll correct that thing. Where is wrong? Okay.
Okay,
Whatever
ma'am.
the thought you get it, you can just, I mean, even though the thought is not 100% is going to satisfy that criteria, but at least what till now what you understand, like for example, there are four requests they were asking in. Okay, let me open up that scenario, first scenario once. Okay, let me first stop recording this.